the bureaucratic mind, or how not to get things done. Is it possible for institutions and government to operate under normal business practices? Recently, I did something wrong. I was on the campus of California State University, Dominguez Hills, where I teach accounting and finance, and I forgot to purchase a parking pass. The result, I got a ticket. I'm not complaining about the ticket. I should have paid for parking. I had thought that because there were no classes on campus that day, and the parking lot being empty, that I didn't need to pay. However, in all fairness to the university, after searching my emails, I did find an email explaining that parking regulations would be strictly enforced. Then I started to think about the fact that I got a ticket in an almost empty parking lot, and that employees and student customers of the university must pay for parking, and it conjured up something in my mind. Something that I will call the bureaucratic mind. I have worked both as an employee and as a consultant for about 200 companies. I never worked for one that didn't provide parking for its employees. Most businesses also provide parking for their customers. Did you ever visit Walmart, Target, Ralph's, Home Depot, RiteAid, McDonald's, Burger King, or even your local Chinese food restaurant and have to pay for parking? I haven't. Even in downtown Long Beach, California, the city where I live, there are a couple of huge city-owned parking structures where customers of the downtown businesses can park for 2 hours for free. So why, when the norm is for a business to provide parking for customers and parking for employees, does the university where I work charge its employees and customers to park? The answer, of course, is the bureaucratic mind. During the time of COVID, our university was shut down to students and faculty. All classes were converted to online classes, and people were encouraged not to come to campus. Even though most classes continue to be online in the fall 2021 semester, the campus opened, and students were able to use common areas such as the library and student union building. Professors were allowed to come back to campus to use their offices. Getting people back on campus made sense, particularly for our students, because so many of them reported it was extremely difficult to complete online classes given their living situations. Many students reported bad internet connections at home, or alternatively lack of privacy from other family members when trying to complete course material. I had one student who told me she had to do her coursework at the kitchen table in a 2-bedroom apartment occupied by her sister's 2 kids, her mom and dad, and the dog. Yet our university has internet in every building and even in some outdoor areas. Wouldn't it have made sense to allow students to use the university facilities just as hotels, restaurants, and grocery stores continue to operate using social distancing, masks, and limiting capacity? Of course it would. Why didn't the university do that? The answer, of course, is the bureaucratic mind. As I mentioned, we have parking at the university where I work, and for about 2 years during COVID, the university was shut down. And to say we have parking is an understatement. We have huge parking lots. We are also very close to the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles. During the early days of COVID, car rental companies and automobile companies had storage problems. A car rental company often has more cars than it can store because normally a percentage of the fleet is out on the road with customers. 4 automobile companies' cars continued to be produced and imported, but sales slowed down significantly, creating excess inventory. A great idea would have been to generate some revenue for the university by renting the parking lots out to car rental companies and automobile companies. Why didn't they? The bureaucratic mind. In the fall of 2021, we started to experience supply chain issues in the port of Long Beach and Los Angeles. Many ships were anchored off the coast of Long Beach, waiting for days to be unloaded. While there are several reasons for the supply chain problems, one was a lack of space to store shipping containers. The containers on the ship can only be unloaded when there is space in the dockyard. And for there to be space in the dockyard, trucks need to move those containers that have already been unloaded and transport them to other storage and staging facilities. But those storage and staging facilities were full because of a shortage of truck drivers. So, with our massive parking lots, wouldn't it have made sense to rent the parking lots out to shipping and trucking companies for container storage? Of course it would. Why didn't they? The bureaucratic mind. We were very lucky to get a new building on our campus. It's beautiful. I noticed something very strange. We have nice new furniture, but no trash bin. I contacted a colleague in administration, and he referred me to the person who heads up the Office of Sustainability on campus. She referred me to the Zero Waste Coordinator in the Office of Sustainability. Her response was as follows. There are centralized bins conveniently located throughout campus for you to avoid tossing everything in one container and to properly sort instead. Okay, makes some sense. But then I pointed out that with no trash can in my office, I had no place to put my trash before I dropped it off at the centralized location. The response was, discarding your personal waste at these bins as opposed to your desk side is also a great opportunity to reflect on the many ways we can minimize the amount of waste we produce in the first place. I've also learned that there is an added health benefit to the new bins as they encourage you to stand up throughout the day instead of remaining sedentary for long periods of time. Our overall goal is to empower our staff, faculty, and students to make more sustainable choices so that we can collectively bring positive change while on and off campus. So now if I tear the package off a ream of paper from my computer rather than tossing it into my personal trash bin, I must immediately jump out of my chair, walk down the hallway to the central trash bin, and toss it. Professors are well paid. That seems like a gross waste of university resources. I get that the university wants us to sort our trash, although I am not sure why. According to an article in The Guardian, Los Angeles County, the county where my university is located, Public Works estimates that in 2018, the county sent more than 500,000 tons of plastic to 4 different landfills and nearly 20,000 tons of plastic to its waste-to-energy incinerator. And it appears that many other recyclers are doing exactly the same thing. However, even if we do want to separate trash for when it can be recycled, and even if the university wants to save money by not having to pay someone to empty every trash bin in every office, it still doesn't make sense to expect people to not have a trash bin in their offices. The solution could be as simple as going to the dollar store and buying every office 3 bins. One for paper, one for plastic cans and bottles, and one for things like food wrappers. Then just tell the professors to dump their own cans into the centralized location when convenient. Why didn't they? The Bureaucratic Mind. I could provide you with more examples, but I don't want this article to be too long, so I won't. When I mentioned I was writing this article to a friend, he said to me that the world needs the bureaucratic mind. He said institutions like universities and governments cannot operate under normal business practices, such as efficiently using organizational resources, looking for money-saving and revenue-generating opportunities, and implementing common-sense policies. I asked him why not. I'm still waiting for an answer.